guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm just going to get straight into it. The reason why I decided to make this video is because a lot of people will be able to relate to the things that I am about to say, and some of the signs and symptoms that I've been experiencing, and just because anemia is a very common condition in a lot of people. For example, vegetarians, vegans, pregnant women, women in general, women who have heavy periods. So yeah, it's a very common thing, and I know and I hope that some of the things that I talk about will help or should help anyone who might be going through the same thing. But first of all, I just want to start off by saying that I'm not a doctor, and this video isn't being made to diagnose or treat anyone who may be going through the same thing. It is purely just based on my experiences and things that I am doing to help myself. So if you do experience any of the symptoms that I describe in this video, then please do consult your doctor and get a blood test done and follow their advice, because some of the things that I do mention can be linked to so many other issues as well. There's some things can just be cured by making a few changes to your diet. Other things need medication and can be linked to more serious problems. So first of all, what is anemia? Anemia is a condition marked by a deficiency in red blood cells or hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is an iron-rich protein which helps to transport oxygen from your lungs to the rest of your body. So having low iron levels or anemia means that your body doesn't receive enough oxygen in the rest of your body, so it can lead to things like tiredness and fatigue, and it can just generally make you feel really weak. Some of the other symptoms are headaches, dizziness, shortness of breath, brain fog, cold extremities. Like, I always get really cold hands and feet and legs, and it's just very difficult for me to feel warm. It's annoying. Some people can get chest pains, some people experience hair loss, depression. That's another thing I thought was a normal thing. I thought because of the weather, like, I could just be deficient in vitamin D, but I was supplementing in vitamin D. That can make a huge difference to your mood and just general energy levels and well-being. Hypothyroidism, which can lead to weight gain, I think can sometimes just be linked to being less active because you're more tired, because you're anemic, because your body doesn't have enough oxygen to supply your muscle and your blood. So there's like a whole range of symptoms, but those things can also sometimes be linked to other things as well. So it's important not to just take them as you being anemic. It's important to actually get assessed properly and consult your doctor about it. Now, one of the main things I've been experiencing is just fatigue. Like, I literally feel so tired and weak sometimes that, like, I feel like I can't do anything, and it's really frustrating. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that my physical strength is one of my strengths. Like, I am very physically strong, but I struggle with tiredness and fatigue on a daily basis. Like, people think that I'm just like naturally motivated to train and work out, and like it's just second nature to me. Well, it is second nature to me, like it's become a habit, but I do still have to really push myself to get into the gym because sometimes I just feel so tired within myself. But I'm the kind of person that, like, if I feel tired, I usually just put it down to other things, like maybe not having eaten enough during the day, not having slept well, or just being lazy. Or usually I just tell myself to man up and get on with it, because more often than not I feel like most of us just make up excuses for being lazy. So that's how I've been dealing with going to the gym. I've just kind of made it a habit and just push myself to go, and that's how I stay motivated. I'm a huge believer that food is medicine, so if I can heal something naturally myself, then I will, through my food and my diet. I will try and limit the amount of supplements or any kind of medicine. Like, I never take medicine. I'm so anti-medicine unless like I'm on my deathbed and nothing else is working, or I know that I physically can't fight something without some sort of medication. So it wasn't until sometime at the beginning of the year where like I sat down on the sofa and I couldn't get up. Like, I was just so drained that I felt useless. Like, I felt like, I don't know, I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, there's something isn't right. And I just knew that something wasn't right because I'd trialed and errored everything, like from increasing my vitamin B, reducing my stress, making sure that my food intake was from good, wholesome, healthy foods, trying to sleep better. Like, there were so many things that I had tried before thinking, okay, I think I need to go to the doctors. So I initially went to the doctor because I stopped having regular periods, and this had been going on for a good few months, but I just thought that was down to stress because a lot of things had happened last year, and yeah, I just put it down to being stressed or maybe not eating enough. So I increased things like my food intake, my starchy carb intake, and I didn't once think it could be iron or an iron deficiency because I was very anemic in my teenage years, and I was on, like, I was supplementing with iron tablets like my doctor prescribed me. And back then my doctor said that I had to take these tablets every single day. But when I was at uni, it was literally a case of waking up one day and thinking, I don't want to take tablets for the rest of my life. Like, I just, yeah, so I stopped taking them, and I looked up things like how to increase my iron intake through natural food sources, and I started doing a lot of research into foods. I think that's where my passion for nutrition came from. Stopped taking my iron tablets completely switched around my diet, because in university, like, as most people do, just eat loads of crap and not really care about their activity levels. And yeah, so I switched around my diet. I just started having a lot more healthy foods, and I went back for a blood test, went back to the doctor, got my bloods tested again, and my iron levels were normal. And ever since then my iron levels have been fine, up until now, of course. So I didn't think it could be iron because of that reason. Anyway, so I went to the doctors to figure out the reason why I might not be getting my periods. I went and got a blood test done, and he checked everything. He said my hormone levels were fine, which is the main thing that I wanted to find out. That was knocked off the list. He also said my vitamin B levels were fine, which was another concern that I thought I might be deficient in. So that was knocked off the list. He then said my blood iron levels were fine, but my iron stores, like my ferritin levels, were low. So normal ferritin levels, so iron store levels, are, well, he said they're considered between a range of 20 to 300, I think it's nanograms per litre, and my levels were 7.8, so that's very low. But the reason why I was confused was because if my blood iron levels were high, then why would my iron stores be low? I said to my doctor as well, I was like, how can this be possible? Because my diet is literally made up of iron-rich foods. I'm so conscious and aware of how much iron-rich food I have because of the problems that I had when I was a teenager. So, like, I don't think I could physically eat any more iron-rich foods. I'm not even joking. I have a minimum of about 500 grams of greens and like leafy green vegetables, and as well as dark chocolate and blah blah blah, like just a whole range of iron rich foods every single day. And that's not just a number I've pulled out the air, like 500 grams of green. I've weighed it out. I make sure that I'm eating enough nutrient dense foods to support my health, because it's something that I am consciously aware of and I want to be aware of, because I want my health to be in check. Like, that means that either my body's not uptaking the iron in my blood properly, or basically he just said that it might be a case of me just not having enough iron in my blood for me as an individual, like for my genetics, my activity levels, my ethnicity, my lifestyle, blah blah blah. So he prescribed me with some ferrous fumarate, which is an iron tablet, and said that I should only have to take it for a few months as like a booster. That was one of my concerns as well, like would I have to keep taking this tablet for the rest of my life, because that's something that I really did not want to do, because I'm so, like I said, I'm so anti-medicine. But as a supplement that's going to help support my diet, then of course I'm happy to do that, especially if it's going to help with my overall health and there's no other way I can get it through my food otherwise. So that's what supplements are for. They're to supplement a diet, not to replace anything in your diet. So hopefully this will help my periods become more regular. And on that note as well, like if there are any women or girls who are watching this video and do have irregular periods, or haven't had a period in a while, make sure you go and get yourself checked out, because it can be linked to a whole range of other different problems in your body. So it is very important to get that checked out. Sorry if that's too much information for any guys watching, but it's a normal healthy thing that I feel like we should all talk about, and we shouldn't be afraid to talk about. But anyway, let's go on to how you can help relieve some of the symptoms that you might be feeling if you are anemic, or if you feel like you do suffer from some of these symptoms but it could be something else. My number one thing is to pay more attention to your diet, and by that I mean making sure that you cover all your bases. Make sure that your diet is made up of 80 to 90% of wholesome, natural, healthy, non-processed foods, because your body is a clever thing, and if you feed it and fuel it with the right foods, chances are some of your signs and symptoms will relieve themselves. If you don't have a healthy gut, then your body will not be able to absorb all the beneficial nutrients that you eat, and it can make it very, very difficult for you to do things like lose weight. It can affect your concentration levels. Gut health is a number one thing that you should be very, very conscious and aware of, and that can be healed by eliminating processed foods and including probiotic foods like natural yogurt, kefir, kimchi, pickles, sauerkraut is pickled cabbage, by the way. Kombucha is another popular one at the moment. I've never actually tried it. I myself have ordered myself some probiotic supplements just to make sure I'm completely covered and my body is uptaking the iron that I am ingesting. So number two is a bit of common sense. Eat a diet rich in iron foods. Eat an iron rich diet. So this is part of being anemic. It messes with your head, you get confused easily, or at least I'm going to blame it on that anyway. So eat a diet rich in iron. Eat foods which are high in iron. So things like meat, fish, eggs, vegetarians, beans, lentils, pulses, nuts, seeds, like leafy greens, dark chocolate, fortified cereals and breads. Obviously they fall into the processed category, the cereals and breads, but a small percentage of those, if they're going to help increase your iron levels, then great. Number three is to reduce stress. That can be as simple as literally going outside in the morning and breathing in some fresh air. Like this year I've made it a bit of a resolution to go outside every morning and just do a bit of stretching, breathe in some fresh air, and almost meditate, like just take in my surroundings before I start my day, before I have my breakfast, before I do anything. Just calm my mind and just be zen. Other ways you can reduce stress is by going for a walk, yoga, just doing some light exercise, or even intense exercise, but If you have a very stressful life, then I wouldn't advise doing things like high intensity exercise, because that can make your stress symptoms worse. Raising your cortisol levels for extended period times can be counterproductive. If you do have a very stressful job, then perhaps do something a bit more low intensity, like yoga, or just long slow duration cardio, or stretching, body weight movements, even weightlifting, but making sure that you have adequate rest periods in between. Try to stay positive and just know that it's not a forever thing. Just make sure that you do all you can to help yourself naturally, as well as listening to your doctor. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but yeah, that's it really. I think I covered everything. If you do have any questions, any comments, any advice that you might want to share, then please do comment below. It is a very common thing, and a lot of people can suffer from it, some more severely than others. I'm going to stop blabbing now, because I think this video is going to be very, very long for me to edit. I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up, if you liked anything, if you found it useful, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next one. Mwah.